I finally went nuclear in Satisfactory. No, not that kind of nuclear, but this kind of nuclear. But did I do it without causing a meltdown? Stick around and find out. I'm Archie, the world's most mediocre Satisfactory player, and in another chapter of, oh god, my ThinkPad is struggling to run this game, God help me, we are building a nuclear power plant. And this time, we're actually going to get it right. Last time, I went directly to a turbofuel super project, and I bit off a bit more than I can chew. Not wanting to make the same mistakes, and this being as far as I've ever made it into this game, I wanted to scale it a bit back. So here are the goals. 1 nuclear fuel rod per minute. This can feed 5 nuclear power plants with 0.2 rods used per minute. And we're going to be building this at the blue crater to keep all the radiation contained to this corner of the map. Plus, it gives me an excuse to build more trains. The uranium source is coming from this cave behind the waterfall, right next to this peaceful Miyazaki poison swamp. Because only good things are hidden behind waterfalls, and definitely not anything traumatic. So first big step, trains, platforms, and pulling in those resources. So in the last video, I joked about why I kept making conveyor belt bus lines rather than just using more trains. But this time, I have a good reason to use both. I built this bus line around the crater to pull in resources from all these nodes, including the sulfur, the limestone, concrete, iron, and other crap, most of which I smelted right on the spot using refineries. I then built this single-track train line to bring in the uranium from this cave of friendship and happiness. This was way easier and safer to build rather than using a conveyor belt because the less time I spent standing over the abyss cliffs, the better. Let's get that sulfur cooked up into that sulfuric acid. And we got that concrete ready to go too, so all we need to do to get our first intermediate item is get the spicy stuff, the funky uranium. Alright, so I've been putting this part off. The uranium node I want to tap into is this in-pier node located by Shrek Swamp. The train station is built and everything, buffers ready to go, but there is one problem. Behind this waterfall is what I've already referred to as the Cave of Friendship and Happiness, a place where nothing ever bad happens and is only filled with love. And by love, I mean radiation poisoning. And by friendly, I mean giant fucking spiders. Well, no point on holding off the inevitable. It's time to lock and load and kill some Xeno scum. With the Tyranid swarms dead, I can now claim my prize. Advanced radiation sickness. I can overclock this miner and get 120 uranium per minute. But I only really need 100 per minute. Is that efficient? No. But does that extra output lessen the chance of a bottleneck happening? Yeah, absolutely. With the spicy, funky rocks being shipped over by train cleverly named the Funny Green Rocks Mobile, this step is done. I actually attempt to make the area around the conveyor belts look somewhat cool, using beams and some actual industrial-looking design. Then I just jam the uranium into the 2 manufacturers. To deal with the byproduct, I got 30 sulfuric acid going in, and that last 10 will be supplied by the byproduct. In total, 40 to keep the whole system stable. I hope. And while that is cooking, I go ahead and get the rest of the components for the uranium rods. 3 encased industrial beams, and the stuff I need to build 5 electromagnetic control rods per minute. I set up the manufacturer so 2 are set at 100% and the others at 50%. I usually don't worry about perfect balancing, but with the spicy fuel, I don't want to be at risk of one of my manufacturers not getting enough of something. Lesson for the kids here. I dealt with splitting 3 beams per minute by breaking it down into fifths. Each machine needed 1.2 beams, or 0.6 at 50%, so 3 over 5 is 0.6, so boom. I don't really care about hiding the spaghetti, I just want all these machines supplied. And hey, look at that! The first fuel rods are coming out. 5 nuclear power plants. And I just gotta say, I am in awe at the size of these lads. Each one of these big boys needs 240 water per minute, or just 2 full water extractors. Once again, to keep it simple, I give each plant its own water source. No fancy pipe work from me. There's not enough Vivants on the world that can get me to do what some of the people do on Reddit. Now, before I plug these chunky boys in, I gotta deal with the waste. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the uranium processing yet, so in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep everything tucked away, not too far away from the rest of the base. I chained together a bunch of industrial storage units, and I'm not 100% sure on the math, but if I got all these racks here, stacked 3 high, 48 spaces each, and can each slot 500 barrels, that should be pretty good to go, right? Either way, not sure if you want to buy these storage units from Storage Wars, but you do you. With the waste dealt with for now, let's go back to the plants and hook them up to the grid. Man, does that jump in power feel good. For the most part, things are running smooth. Kept it simple, got enough extra power from the other sources so that if one of those reactors goes kablamo, I got a lot of time to go fix the problem. In the meantime, I'm just going to go finish up doing the bare minimum of construction, getting together some of these windows and working with more angular type of design or roof maybe, I don't know. If I decide to further process the uranium and the plutonium, I can use the particle accelerators and put them behind my plants. And the way I think of it, each nuclear plant can hold the maximum range for a particle accelerator. So, in my mind, as long as I build one accelerator for every one nuclear power plant, I should be good for endgame power. Hopefully. Either way, it's safe to say that it's the furthest I've ever made it into this game so far, and I'm slowly creeping my way to the end game. Thanks for watching.